Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am so happy to be here with you all. If you don't know me, my name is Gabby Payne. I'm a brand strategist and I help nonprofits successfully increase donor retention and engagement through signature event marketing. Your signature event is your big event that you have every single year. It's the golf tournament, it's the gala, it's the holiday party. It's a thing that reminds your donors of all the exciting things you're doing and gives your donors an opportunity to network and connect with one another, which is why it's one of the biggest and most important events you have all year. Today, I want to talk to you about the 5 steps I take to help my clients accomplish successful nonprofit signature events. So, before we talk about those 5 steps, I want to share with you exactly where I'm coming from. So, when I first started out in entrepreneurship, I decided that I wanted to host these business seminars for my community. And one of the things that really frustrated me about doing that was two things. Number one, there was just low engagement. So I was struggling to get people to show up. I was struggling to get people continuously engaged with me as a brand. And number two, I was struggling to secure sponsorships. And I thought that I needed to be running these signature events for 10 years or 20 years before I could even start to think about sponsorships and donations and things of that nature. What I've found is that it doesn't take that. And instead, I realized that there were 3 essential items I needed. Number one, I needed more time. So I needed to start planning these events at least 6 months out because that's going to give me enough time to manage both the marketing and logistics portions of the events. And if you're just now joining us for the first time, go back and watch the series. I believe this may be video 5 or 6, but I've been doing this series on a weekly basis. So go back and watch the series so you can kind of learn a little bit more about how to manage the logistics and the marketing pieces of your nonprofit signature events. The other thing I realized is that I needed more support because you have these 2 event arms that need to happen simultaneously. You have to be able to manage your logistics simultaneously and market the event simultaneously. Because you have that going on, you typically need more support than you have in your nonprofit on a daily basis. You need more than your donations manager. You may need more than your email marketing manager who kind of sends out your pushes on a regular basis because this is a special event. So you're adding an additional workload on top of all the things that you're already asking your nonprofit team to do, which, as we know, nonprofit teams are already overloaded, they're already overextended. So it's important that you bring on more support. And lastly, you need a marketing plan. You need a plan. You need a plan that says, here's what we're going to say, here's when we're going to say it. But what you specifically need is a 3-phase approach. And I talk about this in my last video. The first is the pre-event marketing. The second is the during event marketing. And the third is the post-event marketing. And as we discussed, the post-event marketing is the most critical, so you have to make sure that you're during the event marketing and your content capture is executed well. So let's talk through what are these 5 steps I take my clients through and exactly how it works in real time. So the very first thing we do is we understand the event, the team, and the role of our services within your team. The first thing you want to do whenever you're building team is synergy. That's why before teams start the season, right? Before a sports team is going to start that season, they're going to have that training camp. And while the training camp is great for developing skill sets, it's also essential to building relationships. Whenever you're running a large scale event like these signature events, you want your team to be on the same page. You want everyone to understand their roles and responsibilities within the scope of the event. And in order for you to do that, it's going to be essential that you start early, right? So typically we're working with clients up to 5 months before the event, and at the least, but at least 4 months before the event, to make sure that we can start to get that synergy. The next thing we're doing is intentional sales and marketing development. What does that mean? We're intentionally focused on the benefits of the event for both sponsors and donors alike. So that number one, you can attract those corporate partners. And number two, all of your donors, all of your community donors, maybe they're not the CEO of a corporation, but they're philanthropists and they love to give back, so that both of those audiences are appropriately attracted by focusing on what's exciting about the event, and also how corporations can leverage your event to really demonstrate their level of social responsibility. And so we really focused on that during that phase. The next phase we focus on is the content capture and social media setup. So, content capture is by far one of the most important pieces of the event. Why is that? Because a lot of people think that the most important piece of marketing an event is what happens before the event. But I can tell you with my years of experience that the most important piece is what happens after the event. Being able to demonstrate that, hey, we had an amazing time, we had an amazing impact after the event. Because what that's going to allow you to do is retain donors, increase donor engagement, and retain your sponsorships. So that way, as you're setting your goals for next year, if you know you raised $250,000 with this event this year, then guess what? You can already say, okay, our goal is to retain 75% of these sponsorships. So now that's less work you and your team have to do for the year ahead. And you're going to do that by appropriately capturing the content. And that's where my team comes in. We manage your photographers, we manage your videographers, we walk them through a shot list to make sure they get the right pictures, the right videos, so that when they put that compilation together, you have something to show for it. We also develop a impact report. So between the event capture execution and the actual impact report, you can leverage those assets to not only retain your current donors, but also attract new donors. So anyone who missed this event, they're going to be the ones that are saying, we can't miss this again. When it comes to your nonprofit signature event, you have to play the long game. So while we want people to show up to the event, the goal is to increase engagement over the life of the event. So we know this event is every year. We want them immediately saving the date for the next year. And for those of them who miss it, we want them immediately saving the date for next year. So that's how it works. And I know it sounds really simple. It is about a 5 to 6 month process. Typically, we want to take at least 4 months before the event and 1 month for post-event marketing, just to make sure people truly understand the impact that you all had during that event and in the past year of running your nonprofit. And so this is the nonprofit signature event marketing service we offer. We typically focus on helping small to mid-sized nonprofits. So typically you want to be seeing at least a $250,000 operating budget in a lot of our clients. Most of our clients have much more than that, but that is the typical minimum that we look for. So if you think this might be something you and your team need for the year ahead, there's no obligation. You can feel free to set up a call with me, send me a message directly here on LinkedIn, and we can talk about what solutions we provide for your nonprofit signature event for the year ahead. I'm super, super excited to learn more about your organization, the impact you're having in your community, and how I can come in and support you all. Nevertheless, I am going to head out of here. It is the end of the day. I'm excited to shut it on down, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy your evenings. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and you can catch me here once a week, typically on Tuesdays, for the rest of this series. Can't wait to hear from you.